Moose Outdoors here. We're going to be unboxing the new Gauntlet side lever. This Gauntlet 2 side lever, I should say. This one specifically is in 22 cal, which is my favorite plinker caliber for air guns. And we're gonna bust it out of the box and see what all it comes with here. Hey, look, we got another box. So, I'll even let you guys, hold on. I have a lot of tabs in here, but I will even let you guys see it before I do. There you go. That's what we got. We have, looks like 2 mags and a single shot tray, as well as some spare O-rings for the bolt. Allen key. There's the single shot tray. The manual that I'm definitely going to study very thoroughly. And then the actual gauntlet itself. Yeah, it doesn't look like anything else. It's packaged pretty well. Pretty happy with that. Let's open her up. Now, something that I really love about the Gauntlet 2 is it does have Picatinny rails, which is just great. I hate having the old style where you have to have an adapter and all that. As far as the actual side lever itself, it's still pretty stiff. That's something that Gauntlet has always been known for, is a stiff bolt. And this is still stiff, but let's see if I'm actually in the position. You know, not too bad. I do like it a lot better than the bolt was. It is front heavy, definitely, which, you know, you kind of expect with your tank up front. I do love that it's a 4,500 PSI tank, which is nice. Adjustable comb on the stock. You know, I actually love the knurling on this side handle here. So that side handle has some very nice knurling, a really good grip. Nice steel. Same knurling out here on the thread protector. So easy fit for throwing your moderator of choice on there. Definitely gonna have to get one for that. Has M-lock here on the bottom. Throw your sling on there. Nice gauge. I'm excited about this. This will have its same little weird janky safety down here. Kind of wish it was just like a push button or something normal, but really excited about this. Gonna get this pumped up with our GX CS4i, great compressor, and we'll go take some shots with this and get some videos up on it. But here's my initial look, impressions. I'm excited. This thing looks pretty sweet. It feels very solid too. I have not actually shot the Gauntlet 2, so I came from the Gauntlet 1, so I'm excited about that.
So here we're shooting the Umarex Gauntlet 2 SL22, SL for side lever. It's a 22 caliber, and it uses the same magazine as the original Gauntlet, and that same ergonomic stock that we had on the original Gauntlet 2. It does have a Picatinny rail compared to the original rail on the Gauntlet, and this particular one is pushing out about 4,800 foot-pounds of energy, so that's a 12 grain pellet flying at about 1,130 feet per second. It also has a 1x20 threaded muzzle now, so that's nice for a moderator, suppressor, or whatever you want to put on there. So I did obviously fill this up from 0. It ships with an empty tank, and with my CS4i, it took me about 12 minutes. The CS4i is a lot faster than most compressors, so I would expect the majority to take a lot longer than that. You could do it with a hand pump, but 4,500 PSI with a hand pump is very difficult, and it's going to take a long time. So I would very much recommend getting a good compressor. I personally like the GX series. I own the CS4i, but most of that series is pretty good. As far as the side lever goes, it has really smooth operation, good accuracy, and the trigger feels good too. Not the crispest trigger I've ever felt, but it definitely does well. I apologize if the image looks a little grainy here. The printout itself is grainy. The rest of it should be clear.
So my initial thoughts on the Umarex Gauntlet 2 side lever. I've put about 100 rounds through it. I've messed around with it a bit, filled it up, put a scope on it as you can see, and read through the manual a little bit. My initial thoughts, I really like it. I'm impressed. It fixes a lot of different things that I did not like about both the original Gauntlet and the Gauntlet 2. The side lever is just nice. Like, there's no other way to put it. It's so much smoother. If you watch like my old videos of me watching the Gauntlet, shooting the Gauntlet 1 versus the earlier in this video, when I was running the side lever, it's just butter smooth. It's just shoot, and you can just run that so easily. Nice and smooth. I think earlier in the video I said this felt a little bit stiff. After shooting it, it's totally fine. I think it's just the spot I was in, or maybe the first time it's stiff or something like that, but really happy with it. The accuracy, frankly, impressed me a lot. My old Gauntlet was one that was tuned by Hajimoto. Great guy, does great work. And it was a tack driver. This one is also a tack driver. Maybe not quite the same accuracy as my Gauntlet 1 after being tuned, but very impressive, and I think I probably could get it to be at that level without too much more work. Really happy with it. Also love the 4500 psi tank. You can get so many more shots out of this. I put, let's see, some 60-70 shots through on a single tank, and didn't see any difference in my pressure as far as, you know, getting below the regulator. The regulator is set at 1900 psi, and we are just coming down to that. Yeah, so good time to fill it up, but didn't see any changes in my point of impact. I'm really happy with it. I do want to put a more high-powered scope on it, just because with air guns especially, I like to have a very high zoom scope. This is a good scope though. This is the Orcaire 3-9. They don't have a product name for it, which is kind of annoying, but I'll put the link in the description. For the price, honestly, it's really good. It compares a lot to my primary arm scopes, if you're familiar with them, as far as build quality goes, but significantly cheaper. Not a huge fan of the reticle. I wish the reticle was a little bit different. It's a basic cross with a couple ticks, but they have another higher end scope that I'm interested in reviewing that I'll see if I can get. But overall, I'm really happy with this gun. If you're on the fence about it, I would say go for it. The side lever is just nice. It's so nice to be, you know, back in normal air gun functionality with a side lever. Like, I don't mind a bolt gun. I have a lot of different bolt guns. But with an air gun, a bolt just makes more, or a side lever just makes a lot more sense. That is a lot smoother. If you're coming from the Gauntlet 1 or just new to the Gauntlet platform in general, the quality of life upgrades, like a better barrel mount so your barrel isn't as wobbly, a 4,500 psi tank, the upgraded stock, and honestly just better look in addition to the Picatinny rails. They're just stuff that they should have done on the first one, but they've made good and they have it now. It also has an adjustable trigger, although it's a bit of a process to adjust it. You can also buy drop-in 2-stage triggers from Hajimoto. I might do that at some point. Trying to think what else. Yeah, it's a good gun. It's a solid air gun. I think you could totally get this, hunt with it, do target shooting with it with no modifications at all. And if you wanted to put a little bit of money into it, you know, get a nice moderator, suppressor on it. You could upgrade the trigger if you want, but frankly, the trigger's pretty good. It's a good trigger. And what else could you upgrade? I mean, you could do a bigger tank if you wanted to. Honestly, I think the tank's a good size. Because it's high pressure, you know, you get a lot more shots out of it, and it's not so big that it's just like utterly front heavy and dropping it down. But you could do a bigger tank if you wanted to get even more shots, or like especially if you have the 30 cal, I would consider getting a bigger tank. Maybe it comes with a bigger tank. I'll have to check. I wouldn't mind getting my hands on a 30 cal. But yeah, in the 22 cal, 4,500 psi, 1,900 psi on the regulator, it's a great combination. Throw a decent scope on it, and it's good. And it uses your regular Gauntlet mags. So if you have a Gauntlet 1 right now with a bunch of extra mags, sell it with 1 or 2 of the mags, and then keep the other ones for your Gauntlet 2, and you'll be fine and dandy. But I'll be using this for the foreseeable future, so I will probably be posting another video here in 6 months or so with a longer term review. But if there's stuff you guys want to see in the meantime, how it performs with different ammo, I was shooting with Diablo JSBs, and they were fabulous. I mean, I was stacking them on top of each other. Granted, this was a 25 yards, so that's the range that I have easy access to right now. And I was putting them in the same hole. As I did bigger groups, like up to 10 rounds in a group, you know, I would start to get ragged holes and a few flyers. But as you saw earlier in the video, honestly, pretty good groups. With those, I wasn't going for accuracy on the target because this hasn't been sighted in, even though it actually was pretty darn close. So yeah, it worked really well. Really happy with the gun, and I would recommend it. I'll let you guys know if there's any issues that I run into. But for now, I say it's a winner. Good work, Umarex.